Thank you for sticking through the breaks to listen to the Artie Lange radio program. Artie is not here tonight. We are subbing for him. Of course, we're in the lovely AshleyMadison.com studios, a fine website where you can make some lovely acquaintances. And
good life choices.
That's what it's called now? It's called the Ashley Madison Studios?
Yes.
All right. Well, things change around here.
For the better, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
like Sam Jackson, whoever cuts the check, right? Whoever he's going to pay.
Sure.
And of course, we're here with Chris Mannix, who's hanging out and co-hosting with me, and Ben Lyons, who I didn't know you were on tonight. I was actually happy to hear that you were on.
I didn't know you had like a lot of hair right now, because every time I see you got a hat.
I know.
So I go on your show and you have a hat, and I follow your career. I've never seen you're just peacocking right now.
It's terrible. Let's be honest. It's humiliating, and I'm going to cut it soon. It's for a reason, and I don't like it. And
what's the reason?
I'm shooting a little something. It's very small, so I haven't, but I have to have it a little bit longer.
What's your character supposed to be?
That's how you bring in your process, right? Is from the outside and then in.
Yes, exactly. I like to do that. I feel a warmer head will help me think better. And if I give some douchey artist reason, it just helps me think deeper. No, it's just I have to look a little creepier. That's exactly it. Yeah. So I think it's
Is it like
nicely.
creepy guy number 2 in some movie? Like
basically.
Homeland creep.
Yeah, exactly. The fourth guy in the lineup, and I have to go, get on the floor. Nope, say it deeper. Get on the floor. All right.
You're playing a pedophile in Law and Order.
I'm the only person in New York who's not been on Law and Order.
I haven't been on everything else over the years.
I cannot get on Law and Order. I auditioned for a porn guy one time, and a guy who owned a porn shop. And I was so terrible. I did it in a Larry Flint voice. Yeah, get out of here. However Larry talks, and I did not get the part.
They're too creepy.
Yeah, I tried to make a choice, and I stunk. Yeah, it was really, really bad.
I've been trying to get NBC to put me on as a corpse on Law and Order. It's all I ever want to do.
Oh, really?
A corpse in Law and Order. And Beetle and I had a deal. We had a deal that if she was going to do Law and Order, she has to take me with her. And then I saw, 4 weeks ago, she was on an episode with a speaking line. Screwed me. Totally screwed me.
Who was she playing?
She played some reporter on the courthouse steps.
Oh, okay.
No real... reporter number 1.
Yeah, real stretch.
You're pedophile number 2, and she was reporter number 1.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. I accept that. Pedophile number 2 is pretty good. Second in the credits.
The check clears. It's all good.
Absolutely. Only you hate to bring
Sad
that
card.
one.
Yeah.
You hope it doesn't say that on the check. They're playing pedophile number 2. Oh, God, weren't even good enough for the first one. So what brings you to us, Ben? Are you promoting something in particular?
No, I love being in New York and stopping by the show and Tribeca Film Festival time. So seeing a bunch of films and just being in New York and no playoff basketball for the Knicks. So
shocking.
Yeah, but I'm at the point, Chris, where it's like I couldn't deal with 6 weeks of anxiety ahead of me of a playoff run.
You think they were going to be in it for 6 weeks?
Who knows? If they are, they were beating Indiana. They look terrible right now. They play
true.
Indiana well, but
they probably could have beaten Indiana.
Team they're not afraid of. They took the 6 games the year before. But I don't know if I could emotionally take it. So I kind of like having my calendar free the next 6 weeks or so.
Now, were you in favor of firing Mike Woodson?
When you have 3 guys on the team, Raymond Felton, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert, who think they're playing in the AAU and not the NBA, you have to blame the coach. And if I had to look at Woodson's blank stare one more time this year.
I mean, think about it. This team went 16-5 down the stretch and still finished with 37 wins and out of the playoffs. 16-5, and you still have 37 wins.
Who's the guy who goes for 29-8 and they lose 9 in a row twice?
Unbelievable.
So, I mean, look, he had 109 wins with Knicks. He came in and resurrected that season when they went 18-6 down the stretch, and then he won 54 games. But, be a mentor. Tell J.R. Smith the nightclubs are open in July. You know what I mean? He pulls his shoelace once. Hey, JR, that was funny. You did it once in Dallas. Don't do it. 2 games later, JR Smith's pulling shoelaces again. So what is he saying to these guys? He lost the locker room, and Phil's going to clean house, and he did it the right way and professionally. I think he's speaking to the New York media tomorrow just to talk about it. That transparency never existed between the organization and the fan base before.
Well, Donnie Walsh was the only one that tried to make it happen.
No, but he's on a short leash, unfortunately.
No, he was, but Donnie was always there, sitting courtside. If you wanted to talk to Donnie Walsh, he would talk to you. That was a brief 2-year era of transparency with the Knicks. Beyond that, they shove Donnie Walsh out the back door, and then they say Glenn Grunwald cannot talk to anybody ever.
Can't talk to anybody. Steve Mills can't talk to anybody. No. And so, it's tough, but to see somebody get fired, and you hate to, you don't want anybody losing their job, but this was done the right way, and it was time, and you got to get a culture change.
I love people to be fired when they're not doing their jobs. I love it when the coaching staff
Do you fire people a lot?
I've never fired anyone.
Come on.
I'm a coward. No, I just love when other people are man enough to fire somebody.
I feel like you would really rise to the moment.
No, I'm actually a nice guy. I would feel bad. I would feel guilty causing. But if somebody else fired them, I would.
Unless it's one of your friends that's more successful than you, then they're all for getting them fired, right?
Yeah, or at least, yeah, exactly.
Pay cuts.
Yeah, some kind of an accident where both their legs are broken. But Go ahead. You were saying. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No. There's a great documentary here at the festival. It's part of the ESPN 30 for 30 series. It's coming out in October, but it played here. It's called When the Garden Was Eden, and it's all about the 69-70 Knicks and the 72-73 Knicks.
How sad is that? Like, that's when the Garden was good. Like, you got to go back to the late 60s, early 70s.
That's the feeling that, like, permeates throughout the film. It's like, wow, Cassie Russell was on the team, and he was also volunteering in the National Guard, you know, and he'd be a sniper in the Chicago riots and then go to practice. Like, it was just a different time. Guys, Dick Barnett signed his first contract for $7,000.
People had multiple jobs sometimes in those days.
John Havlicek, I think, worked in like commercial real estate or something while he was like a Celtics legend until like 1975. Like, it was just the Garden. You would have loved it. The Garden was all filled with like mobsters and gamblers and like scummy dudes,
smoke-filled rafters up there.
Yeah. It was just like a different time in New York and with the team and just basketball in general. So that was a cool film that was down here, and I had a chance to do some stuff around.
That was the golden age. That was the golden age of the New York Knicks, almost 40 plus years ago.
Who was on that team? Was that
Phil Jackson?
I was at Sirius one time and I saw a bunch of the Knicks. I'm walking out and they're in this thing and they're doing it, and it was Phil Jackson,
Willis Reed, Clyde Frazier.
Earl Monroe was on the second team.
They were all there.
There
was 5 of them there. Yeah.
You know, obviously, Frazier and DeBusschere, who passed away. DeBusschere was it's the most fascinating team. Bill Bradley goes on to run for president of the United States. He's a 3-term senator. Dave DeBusschere was a pitcher for the White Sox, like also two-sport athlete. Jerry Lucas came on the second team. He had a memory like a savant. Like he would go on the Tonight Show, and outside the theater when they were coming in for Carson, he would meet everyone, get their name and where they're from, and then in the theater he'd say, "Okay, that's Jim, that's Larry, that's Betsy," and he would go through the whole lot. So this cast of characters, and then Phil Jackson goes on to become the greatest coach in the history of team sports. So it's a weird team.
I saw him at a sushi place 2 weeks ago, and he has a large back. That's my entire Phil Jackson break.
He's an intimidating guy.
He is a large guy. I mean, he
had trouble sitting
his
last year with the Lakers. He had that special high chair, you remember? And he'd sit on the chair, and he'd always be fidgeting. That's why he's not coaching anymore.
I wouldn't count him out ever coaching. I think he might come back.
Wait,
don't play with my emotions.
He might come back.
Don't toy with me.
Not now, but when the team's good. That's what most of these coaches do.
Right.
Like when they're good.
Right.
Oh, well, you know, we're like a 55-win team. I'm going to come in.
Kevin Durant, LeBron's.
That's what Pat Riley did to Stan Van Gundy back in the day. Like, you know, we're kind of good, and I can get a little more out of Shaq. I'm going to come coach the team. That's it.
You're a Knicks fan? You
no,
down with the team?
No, I don't watch. I used to watch the Lakers. I don't watch anymore at all.
You have nothing?
Nah, I'm just, I watch mostly UFC. I don't even really watch boxing anymore. It's mostly UFC. I mean, occasionally if basketball's on, I'll watch it. But I lost interest. I didn't care about Shaq. I didn't care about Kobe. I like Abdul-Jabbar. I'm like a loyal old man.
Pictured you more of like an Alcindor guy. Like,
Alcinder's beard was too creepy. I like that he trimmed it down when he was, Jabbar. When he was Alcindor, his beard was just too wild and unkempt, and I didn't care for it at all. That's a weird name. I don't like any black guy that spells his name L-E-W. It's just weird. Lou. L-O-U. This kind of bothers me. So, did you see, I was at the Tribeca Film Festival. I saw Champs. Did you see that?
No, what did you see?
That boxing documentary that was, it featured Tyson and Holyfield and Bernard Hopkins. There's some good stuff, I think, playing.
And there's an Iverson documentary. I saw a Kevin Spacey documentary about his theater company around the world. There's a lot of
How is the Iverson documentary? You see it?
Yeah, it's...
That's the one that Gary Moore put
Bubba
together,
Chuck
right?
is a sad story at times, Like, I always thought they should do a 30 for 30, him and Marbury, because they came in the league, changed the way people dress, tattoos, hip-hop, the whole culture, and then Iverson ends up in Turkey playing, and Marbury's in China. Marbury recently got kicked out of a game in China and kicked out of the arena, and there's a photo of him peering through the window, like, longingly, and there's a Chinese cop, like, he's chained out of the arena in China. So how does the prodigal son of Brooklyn, New York, who's going to resurrect the Knicks and save the franchise, end up getting kicked out of arenas in China, crying and Vaseline on his lips on the internet?
Stephon Marbury, eating Vaseline was disgusting. Stephon Marbury is one of the most enigmatic characters in NBA history. I mean, he was a normal dude when he was in Minnesota. Normal guy, just a average, great talent, but not totally wacko. He came to New York, and by like year 2, he had lost his mind. He was totally out of his mind. Now he's in China. He's like the Prince of China now.
I think they have a statue of him outside the Shanghai Shark Stadium or something.
It's unbelievable.
The Iverson doc's good, and I'm a huge Bubba Chuck fan, so it was cool to see his whole life story.
Why is Iverson over there playing?
He was in Turkey. He was out of the league. Like, no one will give him a shot, and he's done in Turkey. But now he's a consultant for the team and the Sixers or something like that. They retired his number this year, and he was an amazing high school football player. But it almost didn't happen with the bowling alley fight, and it's crazy life.
Iverson might be the greatest overachiever / underachiever I've ever seen. Like, he overachieved in that he's done more with his body than any player, I think, in NBA history. 6'1", 175 pounds, soaking wet. And he did more.
Blunted the whole time.
Yes, unbelievable. But he also never really honed his game. He was a guy that just attacked the basket with reckless abandon. And all those years, that whole practice line, like, practice, talking about practice, like that was him. He didn't like to practice. He didn't like to work on his game, and he just relied on natural talent. That killed him at the end.
He had a national sneaker commercial with Jadakiss. Like, it was just kind of cool at the time that he brought that whole culture to the NBA.
And he's out of money, too.
Is he broke?
I don't know if he's exactly broke, but all that money he got, he had a contract with Reebok for life.
You're surprised? You're surprised over there? Like,
I'm always surprised with, I don't care how reckless you are, if you blow through that, like Kurt Schilling blew everything.
Well, you invested it all in video games.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
$50 million. How do you blow $50 million? I don't care what you invest. Like, I'm always amazed that even though these guys are crazy, that they can blow through millions of dollars like
Your
that.
first big paycheck, you never made a bad decision with how you spent it?
I'm terrible. I make horrible decisions, but I at least pay my mortgage. And
There's real estate in Camden, New Jersey I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a hockey rink.
It's great.
But I'm amazed at how much did he make in his career? I mean,
I made over $100 million.
Oh, well over that. He had multiple max contracts with the Reebok money. He was probably $300-400 million.
Is he no longer under contract with them?
I would imagine no.
You said it was for life.
I feel like they re-release his shoes all the time because I'm buying them all the time. So I'm like, he's back. I got to get those. Yeah, so I feel like he probably gets some money from them, but
I don't know. I heard he had like a big balloon payment coming when he turned 50 or something like that, but I also heard that money was
already, might not see 50.
That was already accounted for by somebody else.
Oh, he had already spent it.
Yeah, that money might already be gone.
I think when you have money coming, it's kind of like it doesn't matter if it's here or if it's coming. You can spend it.
Well, doesn't Bobby Bonilla get $1 million?
That's the greatest idea
forever from the Mets, like for another 20 years. I'm here with some of my Met friends who are like, doesn't Bobby Bonilla get paid for another $1 million a year?
I think Brett Saberhagen had the same deal with them too. Like that's one of the greatest things an athlete could do. Like save yourself from yourself right there. I mean, just get that money down the line. Bob Bonilla, I think it was next 25 years.
He's $1 million a year.
He's getting $1 million a year. And I think it was his wife that made him do it. Was like, if you get all this money up front, you will lose it all.
Was that cap circumventing too? No, not in baseball. There's no cap.
Yeah, not baseball.
No, but it was more about, I think, the Mets, who at the time, I think, were trying to sell the team or doing something with the team that they wanted to increase the value of it. And by pushing that money back, it created that opportunity for him. So, but that's a great deal. These guys probably at the time, they're like, damn, I want my money right now. But right now, when they have
if I had like $1 million coming to me 20 years from now,
I wouldn't do anything.
I'm done.
I would be the fattest person ever.
Come down here and hang out on your show.
How hard is it if you're the Mets to write that check every year? Yeah. Bobby Bonilla. Oh,
well, the real reason I came by today, and in all honesty, I heard about this Buschetti like juice cleanse or something. What are you doing, Mike? You're namaste. You're doing yoga. What are you doing?
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
No, I heard about it. People were talking about it, and I wanted to see firsthand. And
I've been on Nutrisystem for like 5 weeks.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can bikini season coming in summertime? You feel good, or what's up?
Not a bikini, not yet.
There's a visual.
But you feel good. Like, do you have more energy, and you're healthier, and you're happy?
Absolutely, totally. It's just taking time, but I'm... Shane and John Richard, these guys encourage me a lot, so it's going good.
Good. I'm happy to hear. It's good to see you. So I heard rumblings about it. I had to see firsthand.
Mike, are you following the regimen? Because the last time I was here, you slipped up with something. You had like 9 of the bars for breakfast one morning.
He goes to Subway, gets a sandwich in New York.
I fouled up on occasion with it recently.
Why don't you tell them about your vegetable regimen?
I've been vegetabling it up now to try to go to the bathroom more.
Thank you for that, Jim.
Yeah, he's been vegetabling it up.
Yeah. Well, it's working, on that end of it.
Oh, God.
This is disgusting.
There's a visual you can't get out.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, it's healthy.
Yeah.
How many times a day?
It depends, on the
day.
You
really want to know?
Like a big vegetable day.
Yeah.
Like a big asparagus.
Yeah.
I hear yelling downstairs in my house. No! It was a big vegetable day.
Mike, are you trying to be like a sponsor for Nutrisystem?
Yeah.
Are you trying to get them to pick you up?
Yeah, I want to do.
Either that or Glade air freshener.
No, that would be cool if I... No, yeah. I'm sorry, Jim. Ew! Whoever pays the paycheck, who cares what company it is? You know what I mean? As long as the money's there.
I could see you doing a Nutrisystem ad, Mike.
Yeah, it would be fun. Like go from Mike to something.
How much weight would you have to lose on Nutrisystem to get their attention? I'm thinking at least 100 pounds.
I thought you look good. You look like you lost a little weight. I thought I was going to come in and see it's like a different person. People like lose weight like that. And you're like, who was that guy?
Ben's slightly disappointed.
A little disappointed.
That's okay,
a little
buddy,
anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like the fat bastard in Austin Powers, just all skinned right there.
No, I genuinely heard rumblings of this diet.
Thank you,
I was sorry. Maybe I'll come back another 5 weeks and they won't recognize you.
I hope so. I hope to be like.
You hope you don't recognize.
I love my one of my idols is Dan hates him a little. No, not hates him, but Jonah Hill. I love him.
Oh, with how much weight he lost?
I don't hate Jonah Hill.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I thought we would maybe somebody else.
You're not a Jonah Hill fan?
No, I love him.
I just don't.
He's not one of your idols like he is one of Mike's?
Yeah, he plays the same character over and over.
Come on, how
and over.
great were
It's
his
like,
teeth in The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, it's the same
Teeth
character
ruled him out.
over.
He's also
and
not as
over
funny
and
when he's
over.
lost weight.
Yeah.
Skinny Jonah Hill is not funny.
There's nothing
Fat
funny
Jonah
about
Hill-
an in-shape man.
No.
What does Seth Rogen say in that movie? Nothing funny about an in-shape
he's right.
man.
He's right.
Just remember that as you keep eating those vegetables. Just think about that.
But Ben really did. I love the fact that Ben's like, oh man, I thought you were going to be unrecognizable.
Me too.
You're just a little less fat than I remember you.
I
It's very encouraging, Ben.
I thought, women would be ripping their clothes off by now, Ben. I'm shocked.
They're not.
No, not even close.
Have you tried to
But
get
are
them to do that?
you ripping your clothes off? Maybe that'll get the party started.
I'm a little shy, really, with women. I am. I've been catfished a lot, too.
I know. But the fact that you said I'm really shy with woman and kept it singular is very frightening.
No, but I've been catfished. I'm the king of catfishing. You can ask these guys.
How many times have you been catfished, Mike?
I don't know, Shane. It's countless, really.
How do you know you've been catfished?
How many times?
No, I know. These guys helped me. They did some investigation for me.
Shane, does he tell you how many times he's...
Well, we'll investigate when Mike says he's met someone online, and we find out that more often than not, it's someone effing with him on
It's a
Twitter.
guy messing with him.
Yeah.
Your voice confirmed. Believe me, it's happened to me many times, Mike. You get them to email you, and immediately you go, okay, what's your number? I want to voice confirm. Or could you snap a picture now? That doesn't even always do it.
You got to get like
Voice-
the USA Today from today, just holding it up there.
Absolutely, like a hostage photo. Absolutely.
I've got a lot of girls from other countries that want to,
They don't, Mike. No girl from other countries want to have sex with you.
Yeah, they're looking for green
Oh, yeah,
cards or
I know.
citizenship or whatever.
stay my own.
Which sometimes is a fair trade, but
You ever see 90 Day Fiance, that reality show about those girls? You have to marry a guy.
Show?
With it was a reality show, and there's a visa you can get, a 401k visa, I think, and you have to marry the guy within 90 days. So they followed these four couples, one Russian, one Colombian, and really sexy girls.
Well,
season 2 over here. What do you think?
My mom always tries to set me up with women, but it's always a disaster.
Again, it's woman singular.
I know you're speaking
Ladies.
very biblically.
I know.
Yeah.
Just let him go with
Yes.
it. Let him go with it.
over here.
Let
I'm
him
a
go with it.
fan of the Bible.
Yes.
Who's the woman your mom's trying to set you up with?
She tried to set me up with this girl from Sri Lanka. One of my friends.
Does she
in
still
church.
live in Sri Lanka?
No. She's like a church group girl. She was kind of,
Sounds promising.
on the hefty side, But,
The Sri Lankan
That's what you
church.
want.
No,
No,
but
girl?
she's like, my mom's like, but she has a dowry. I'm like, yeah, but what is this dowry over there? It's not like what we would have. I don't
Exactly.
think, you know
Four
what I mean?
chickens and $30.
Yeah,
What are you going to do with
that's
that?
right. That's what I said to my mom.
Some
She
fat
goes,
religious girl from Sri Lanka. You're better off just being lonely, Mike. Trust me. Sounds terrible.
That sounds like a nightmare.
What an
Stay away
awful
from
date
the-
that would be.
Then she showed a picture of some girls in church. I go, what about that one over there? And even my mom goes, no, that's not your league. She's like, I don't like to settle. Right. I don't like to settle.
Clearly.
I want to see the picture of the girl that your
Yeah.
mother said was not in your league.
Well, my mom got good taste, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Everyone's just
Like I
honest with
said,
Mike.
good to see you.
Thank you. It's so great to see you
Glad
as
it
well.
came
Thank
by
you,
and
buddy.
check. But how you guys doing? You guys doing all right? Enjoying
We got
the
a
show?
break, I think.
Okay.
You're staying, of course.
Sure, I got nothing else to do.
We're hanging out here.
Yeah,
Chris,
why not?
Ben Lyons will be
Sounds
hanging
fun.
with us here on the Artie Lange program with no Artie, just Chris, Jim, and Ben.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.